Before Frodo Baggins and his friends forged the Fellowship of the Ring. Before they battled evil in mines of Moria. And before they entered Mordor to face the Lord of the Rings. The whole adventure began with The Hobbit. Hi, my name is Henrik. I'm the creative lead on Lego The Hobbit. And I'm here to tell you a bit about the new models and elements we did for the new Hobbit movie coming on. I will tell you about how we did the elements, and I have some great designers telling you about how they did the models and some of the cool characters we have in the launch. As a great fan of the Tolkien universe, the books, the movies and so on, it's always been my dream and all the years been working on Lego to do a Hobbit line, and now we're finally doing the Lego Hobbit models and Hobbit characters, so it fits well to the new Hobbit movies. So the story about the Hobbit starts way back before Lord of the Rings. We meet a young Bilbo that is recruited by the wizard Gandalf and the 13 dwarfs. They're set on a quest to get back the Lonely Mountain, the homes of the 13 dwarfs. On this journey they have to fight goblins, big spiders from Mirkwood, they meet the elves and other cool stuff. To find out what to do, which model to choose, we went to LA to visit Warner Bros. And read the script. Together with those guys, we sat down and agreed on the key scenes for the Lego sets. The next step was to go home and make a lot of sketches like this one. This gave us an idea of how the Lego model could look like, and also a way to send for an early approval with Warner Bros. Beside the models, we also have to do some new Lego elements to create some of the cool characters and creatures in The Hobbit. So, what is the process of making a new Lego element? I have here a line-off of the process in how we do a new element. I have here the Goblin King in 2:1. He's hand-sculpted. The reason for making him so big is so we can get all the detail in there. After this, he's 3D scanned. Then we can have him printed out in 1:1 in a minifigure size. Here I have a minifigure so you can see how big he is. It also gives us a chance to hand decorate him and spray paint him in the right colors, and also make it possible for us to send him for approval with Warner Bros. And then he's molded into plastic so we get the right feeling of the material, but also the strength of it. And then, yeah, there's a short way to the final production element of the cool Goblin King character. To talk more in detail about all the cool characters, decorations and creatures we have in the Hobbit line, I have brought one of my designers, Georgie.
Hey everyone, as Harry said, my name is Georgie and I'm one of the designers who work on Lego The Hobbit product line. Now, as a graphic designer, I got to design all the minifigures, which is an awesome job. Much before I came to the Lego group, I was a big fan of classic Lego themes like castle and pirates, but in the same time, I was also a very big fan of the Hobbit story and the Lord of the Rings universe in general. So you could only imagine how lucky I was to be on this project. To start, I'd like to show you this guy. He's the hero of our story. He's the Hobbit of a Shire, and his name is Bilbo Baggins. He has never been on an adventure, and it's all a bit exciting and scary for him. And of course, he's coming with his sword called Sting, and a magic ring that he found on a quest, which will be revealed later on to be no other than the One Ring. Next to Bilbo, we have a wizard who's called Gandalf the Grey, and he's actually the one who started the whole plot, gathered the dwarves, and convinced Bilbo to join the quest. But what really challenged us were the 13 dwarfs. They're all new characters with unique looks and personalities, and they're all more or less equally important for the story. Now, to admit, in the beginning, we planned just to make a half of them and save the other half for the possible future. And after a while, it just didn't feel right, so we decided that we simply have to make them all. As you looked, there was a whole lot of new elements to be designed, and Henrik, our design manager, came to me and asked me to figure out how to handle this. So I'd like to show you the first strategy that I had for design of 12 elements. So basically, this down here was the only reference picture that we had at the time, and we had to design straight from there. And the idea was to design just a couple of 12 elements that would be used for most of the dwarfs, and then for the rest we would use the things from our existing assortment. But we decided to go even further and designed 10 new unique pieces for each character. So let me show you all of them in all their glory. Here we have Philly and Killy, who are the youngest members of our company. Then we have Oin, Gloin, Dvalin and Balin, who are all very skilled warriors. Then we have Biffer, Buffer and Bomber, who uses a sausage and a pot when he's fighting because he obviously likes to eat a lot. A special feature that we made for him, and that's an actual belly, which we never did before. Moving on, we have Dory and Nori, who are again very skilled warriors, and Ori, who is very shy but passionate about drawing and writing. And for the end, I'd especially like to introduce you to the leader of our company, who is called Thorin Oakenshield. I'd just like to tell you a little story behind of how I defined their personalities and how I brought them to life. I'd like to show you that on an example of this guy, Balin, because he's one of my personal favorites. So this is the first sketch I made when I was developing this character. It was a real pleasure designing his outfit because he does wear a beautifully looking costume in a movie. But the real challenge comes when you have to define his personality by Warrior's facial expression and still keep it within Lego minifigure style. So basically, I tried different options, and once I'm happy with it, I can take my hand-drawn sketch and digitalize it. Once I have this done with all the colors defined, I can get it approved, and then it's ready to be sent straight to production. Real heroes need enemies to fight, and for that we have goblins. Basically, we wanted to do a whole new element that would look exactly like them and that will be used just for these characters. But we decided to take another design approach that supports Lego values, and that's how we came up with this piece. You have two possibilities of different facial expression, and you can differentiate the characters in your army in that way. And then having 3 different torsos and 1 reversible head, by combining all of this, you can actually make this many combinations of your goblin army, which is of course led by the big Goblin King. If that's not cool enough for you, let me show you what you can get with combining these new elements with new hunter orcs and new orcs we made for you. So now I introduce you to all the cool characters we made, but I'll let my buddy Bjarke tell you a bit about where our hero Bilbo Baggins lives.
My name is Bjarke and I'm a model designer working on Lego The Hobbit. I have been working at the Lego Group for many years, and I have been a huge fan of the Tolkien universe ever since the movie came out more than 10 years ago. I would like to tell you how we created one of the models, Bag End, which is Bilbo's cozy home in the Shire. Whenever we make a Lego model based on a movie, we try to hit the right balance. We want to respect the source material, but at the same time, we want to deliver the best possible building and play experience. The first thing I did was to make proper research of what the back ends look like. And for this I used the internet and the Lord of the Rings trilogy movies. Then I built the first version of back end, and it looks something like this. During this early stage, we find out that we wanted to use different tones of green on the outside and different tones of sand color and brown on the inside. But we actually also find out that the biggest challenge would be to make proper round looking doors and windows. After some time, I actually managed to build a proper round looking door out of completely existing Lego elements. And this is how the door ended up looking like. At this point, I spoke with my good colleague Georgia to make sure that the decoration on the door looked awesome. To make all the small windows, we used existing Lego bricks, and then we added this unique piece, and this way we created a complete new look. As you can see here in the final model, I added a lot of great details. It was a good opportunity to use different plant parts like the bush, flowers and leaves in different tones of green. And we even have a vegetable garden over here, and we also have carrots and so on. On the inside of Bilbo's house, we have loads of amazing details. We have a table over here with plenty of food that he can eat. And we have a little desk here where he sits and writes his book. We have a kitchen section where he can cook his food. And we have a shelf over here where he collects stuff from his many journeys. And here we have 3 maps showing the journey he has to take from Shire to Mirkwood, ending up with the Lonely Mountain. And you can even take the roof off to make it easier to play inside. I have made many Lego models over the years, but this one I'm especially proud of. and I hope you will like it.
So this was an inside look to all the cool characters and great models we had in the LEGO Hobbit line. Thank you for watching. And that's just the start of the adventure. The world of Middle-earth is full of wizards, goblins, monsters, elves and much more. And so is LEGO the Hobbit theme. We can't wait for the next movie in the series. We really want to make... Oh whoops, I can't give it away.